What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shogi from Sugar Earth Media, and today we're taking a look at The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution. This is a new VR game that's coming out in December, only a month or so after the final season of The Walking Dead TV show ends. So, of course, it's great that the franchise will continue, and we have something to look forward to after the series finale. And I'm really excited that it's this game because I really enjoyed the first one back in January 2020. It's one of the reasons I got a VR headset alongside Half-Life Alyx. And to this day, Half-Life Alyx and this Walking Dead Saints and Sinners game are my favorite VR games. Nothing even really comes close. This game it's a really great survival game. You're collecting materials, you're crafting weapons, you're using what you have available, and it always feels like a desperate situation. You always need more materials. So it's a really fun game. There's a lot of different weapons to choose from. You can approach things in different ways. There's stealth, outright combat. You can climb the sides of buildings. It's a really well-designed game. There's a lot of systems. It's very immersive. I highly enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to this sequel. So we're going to react to this trailer here. This was a trailer at the Meta conference. Meta Connect is the name of the show, and this Meta, of course, Facebook is now called Meta, and Oculus is owned by Facebook. So this game apparently will be releasing in December exclusively on the Oculus Meta Quest 2 or whatever it is, and it will be released for everybody else. Maybe the same day, maybe sometimes later. I haven't seen any confirmation on when it's going to be released for other platforms, but I won't be able to review it right away because I'm playing on Steam. I got the old Oculus. It's not good enough for Oculus now. You can't have the Oculus Rift S and play this game, apparently. But I will be able to play it eventually, so you will see my review. So we're just going to watch this trailer here.
Well, look at you.
So this is the bus from the first game. This is where you, after every day, you would go out to a different location and you would come back to the bus, and that's where you had all of your inventory. It's where your crafting tables were and all of that type of stuff. I think they're just showing us this to remind you. I somehow doubt we're going to be at the exact same place, but you can see these are the crafting tables here, and the school bus is where you sleep and all of that. And I don't know, maybe we are in the exact same place, the same home base situation for the sequel, but maybe maybe these are just to remind you. But these are new weapons. That's the only thing that makes me feel like maybe it's a sequel. I don't know. This looks like a grenade launcher. As far as I know, that was not in the original. Of course, we're looking forward to new weapons. That's going to be one of the most exciting parts. So we got the skiff again. That's the boat that takes you, you have the home base, and then you go out and explore and come back to the home base, like I said. So that was the skiff where you go out. New to the tour.
If I'd have known,
I'm assuming that they're trying to sell to people who haven't played this before. We have this watch here. For those who don't know, the watch in the game, in the first one, if you spent too long in a level, these bells would go off, and the bells were rung by this group called the Tower. And the Tower wants to stir the herd so that they can maintain control of the city and keep it so that their enemies can't get too close to their territory. So it's their means of controlling the area. So I'm assuming, based on the fact that there's an alarm here and we've got some time that has passed, that element will be returning. I believe it also doubled as a health bar, so that's involved as well.
I'd have known you were gonna cause this much trouble.
So they're demonstrating how you reload. This gun looks like the same one from before. One thing you gotta notice is there are a lot more zombies on screen than we have seen in the previous game. The previous game, one of the criticisms I would have of it is it's a little too easy by the end once you're well equipped and whatnot. So maybe we're going into situations more equipped, we have more options, and that's going to make things more interesting.
But that's done.
That's me, baby. So those egg timer things you make bombs out of, those did exist in the original game, and throwing stuff in VR is always tough for me. So it's definitely a great tool though, and I really like how it makes noise too, so it draws the zombies. It's a good distraction. You throw it one way, you let it blow up, and then you go the other way. So there's a lot of different tactics you can take, and I hope this game takes that to the next level and it has a bigger scope to it. That would be nice. I mean, we got a shotgun there. You saw it explode. That's the little timer right there. So this shotgun looks new. We've had shotguns like this before, but the shotgun before was two-handed. You needed to cock it back and load the things in. Now it's one-handed, which is awesome. So we got a new shotgun thing. The journey isn't over.
Mama's desperate.
I wonder, there's no way they can really import the decisions from the last game, I don't think. So I feel like we're going to be against everyone. And we know based on previous videos that there's a third faction now.
With the scale of what she's planning, no one will be spared.
What she's planning, I'm assuming they're talking about the leader of the tower, who we only heard about. There were like hidden documents, or they weren't really hidden, but there were documents that she wrote, supposedly her propaganda that she has been put out. So we never got to go inside the tower. I'm hoping that's one thing story-wise we get to see, is a little bit more of the tower faction, what they're about. Maybe we'll actually go to the tower. Maybe we'll actually get involved with that story. It always felt kind of tangential, and we never really got to know too much about it, so I'm curious. That weapon existed in the previous game. It's a lot of fun.
Good and evil no longer exist. There is only survival.
The throwing, that was something you could always do in the original. It's a tough strategy, though, because it's hard to get the hang of throwing in VR, I got to admit. But this is a lot of bodies. You love to see it. I will say they kind of look like repetitive models, though. They all got watches on, and they all got like the same hat and clothes. But of course, this is an early footage of the game. But this also looks like a set piece from the first game in the opening cutscene. You can look that up. Machine gun, laser pointer. I love to see the laser pointer. I love exploring dark areas in this. We can go out and explore at night in this game now, which is huge. We couldn't do that in the first one. There's only one area you could really explore at night.
The only one who thrives on creating havoc.
I like that. See, that's what's so cool about VR games, is you can really you think about things in a different way. So having a revolver in one hand to light a flare, I'm sure there's another way to light the flare, but that's a lot of fun that you can do that. And throwing the flare and seeing the lighting effects is cool. I mean, look at how many zombies there are on screen. You never really saw this many in the first game. So I hope it's not just done up for the trailers and is actually this intense. New enemies. This is the new faction, I'm guessing. They got some armor on. It looks like some scavenger improvised armor. But that looks like a big shotgun.
Psycho.
Oh, here is a little Easter egg. So they made some DLC for the original game, because the original game was very successful. So they came out with some free DLC. One was like Wave Survival Mode. That was awesome. I've never been able to beat it. It is tough. And then the other, they added like some extra missions to the campaign. It wasn't anything too crazy, but they were it was a harder mission. And one of the things that it added was an extra mode on your flashlight that you saw hidden messages on. So that's what we're getting at here, some UV light, bringing that spider. So that gave you some hints at where hidden caches were and stuff like that. It was pretty cool.
I've seen bullets just...
There's some lore in the background here. Let's see. We are all in this together. Ooh, I wonder if that sounds like a reference to the pandemic in the real world. Of course, the pandemic in this world, in The Walking Dead, took place way before that. But I think bringing some of that theme in would make sense. We're all in this together was a phrase we heard a lot. So that's definitely a shout out to that. And this is, the reserve was a lie. And that's kind of funny because at the end of the first game, it's all about this hidden army reserve that has supplies and people are fighting over it. And you ultimately get to decide what happens with it, who gets it. So it does exist. We got there. We took all the supplies, basically, or you let some other group have it, or you destroyed it. So there were a couple of different endings, and I like that the people interpreted that as the reserve doesn't exist. Here we got a preview of the armored villain, or maybe there are just other guys in armor from the same faction.
I've seen bullets just bounce right off it.
Ooh, I love the lighting here. The orangey sky and whatnot. This is sunset lighting I really enjoy. I like having a bell here. Maybe we actually get to interact with the bells or use the bells in some way to avoid zombies. That would be cool. Maybe you have to shoot an arrow at a bell to distract the zombies. New gear. Ooh, a little Uzi Vert. You'll love to see it. Two-handing it. Chainsaw we knew about already. What are these gloves? Oh, yo, we get... Oh, that's awesome. I love the glove idea. Now you can just rock 'em, sock 'em zombies. Now, one thing is at the end of Saints and Sinners, the first one, what they did to make it harder is they made most of the zombies have helmets on, so you couldn't directly shoot them. You had to get a little inventive with it. So you couldn't just one-shot kill everybody. It looks like instead now they're just adding more zombies, and I much prefer that. If I have to bring explosives everywhere and be prepared to fight a lot of zombies at all times and just have resources ready, then that's preferable to dealing with the armored zombies, which I never really cared that much for, to be perfectly honest. I don't know what this gun is. Let's see that. It looks like kind of an improvised gun that's strewn together from various items or various other weapons put together. Or maybe this is the same grenade launcher we got at the beginning. But we're going to be fighting humans that are armored now. That's going to be tougher. Grenades, you love to see it.
Payback is an honest to God force of nature.
You love to see it.
Perhaps you have heard the stories about me.
I'm liking the variety in locations. And this guy's voice, I wonder is this the armored guy? This really gravelly voice? But we're going to a hospital clinic. I mean, going to different types of abandoned facilities. We need new quarters, new locations, places we haven't been. So I like we're sticking to New Orleans, though, because that was a really good setting for the first game.
You have heard the stories about me. That I am mad.
Ooh.
That I do.
Laser pointer with this. I love this weapon from the first game. So now it's upgraded to have a laser pointer in it. That's really cool. And I'm loving the environments.
Devour human.
And people might look at it and be like, oh, the graphics aren't that great. It's VR. It's different. So if you haven't played VR, you don't know that, there's limits to how photorealistic it can look at this point. So this is actually kind of on the higher end. I mean, the best looking VR game would be Half-Life Alyx, of course.
That I devour human flesh.
He's a cannibal. Oh boy. Shaking the flashlight was definitely a thing in the first game, so that's back. Same sound effect and everything. This knives, when you press a certain button on the keyboard, it goes from stabbing like this to stabbing like this. That's a good function. That's coming back. Ooh, this looks way scarier. The darkness of the environments. Ooh, this is the reserve, I'm pretty sure. So we are going back to the reserve. I think this is the hallway you go through at the end of the first game. I love the sound of this new enemy, by the way. I mean, if they step up their game with the story and the characters, and one of the big issues was most of the story was happening off screen and things we were hearing about. If we're like directly involved in a lot more of it, it's going to be a lot stronger. And I'm liking the dialogue I'm hearing.
Everyone who trusts you winds up dead.
Ooh, what is this? Okay, so there's a hidden message on this object.
Everyone who trusts you winds up dead.
It's like some kind of, is that a skull? Or a piece of bone or something like that?
Winds up dead.
Welcome to the revolution, tourist.
I'm liking all the different voices we're hearing. We have multiple characters. We had only a couple named characters in the last game.
Welcome to the revolution, tourist.
Ooh, pawn shop. We have stores in this one. That's really cool. We didn't have any stores or places to buy things before, so we're going to be able to trade items that we don't need. That's cool. So in addition to the crafting, we now have a store situation. I love that idea. And these locations are cool. We got what are these weird mannequin things? Some kind of no, that's a guy. But we've seen this location in screenshots before, but it looks like there's a person here as well. So characters to interact with in the environment, that's cool.
People like us, you must make the difficult decisions.
Oh, you can jump over edges. Guys, that's actually big. Whoa, and they're keeping the saints and sinners concept, which I felt like was kind of undercooked in that the idea is you make good decisions, you can help people, there are people you can give items throughout the game, or you can hurt people and go out for your own interests and stuff like that. You can save people or look out for yourself. And the consequences weren't really involved in the story that much, aside from the different endings you can choose. So that always felt undercooked. So if they really double down on that, it could be a big opportunity. But I gotta say, I love jumping over the edge. That's not something we had before. Oh, I'm loving how cinematic some of these scenes are. Jumping over the edge. This guy's shooting at us, and now we're in some dark area. Is this the guy who's an enemy? We've seen this weapon before, the circular blade weapon. I actually kind of hate this weapon. I'm not gonna lie. Unless it's different from the last game, I did not care for this one. Two-handed melee weapons were not my thing in that. I always wanted the knives, the one and done. But I love how we have a big drain and zombies falling into it. Something more than just ambient zombies are in the area. If it's more cinematic, more directed, that could be cool. I mean, I love the gameplay of the last one where it's these open areas you explore, but if we have a bit more structured missions, that could actually work. I mean, the cinematic angle, they could do a lot with that they didn't do in the last game. I think we saw a repeat shot in there. But this right here, so we got of course, explosives. We got the grenade launcher. And this is the tower. So we've seen this tower from a distance only. Now we're at the foot of the tower. That makes me think maybe we will see a bit more into the tower. Hopefully we go inside, or at least we deal more with people there. That's something I was always more curious about. And I think it's funny we had a tower on the Fear the Walking Dead TV show last year, and we had a tower in this game. So it's kind of funny. I like how you put these gloves on. That's cool. Ooh, this.
Sure you want to get caught in the middle of that mess?
Whoa. Okay, we're getting cutscenes in this one. Cinematic cutscenes. Okay, we're hanging from a building.
You want to get caught in the middle of that mess, tourist?
This looks a little pre-rendered, so I don't think that this is like an interactive scene. It looks pre-rendered to me. Maybe it's a cutscene. That could be cool. Or maybe this is just for the trailer. I mean, this looks like a more cinematic thing. The stabbing in the eye and pulling him over, that feels like a trailer thing. I don't think that would work in the game. Yeah. I mean, the ending here of the trailer looks awesome, and we did have climbing mechanics before. If we have climbing mechanics, we got cinematic moments like this, that means it's going to be a different game than it was before, where it was just the open areas, which I would be cool with, but I do think that this is just a cinematic thing for the trailer. I don't think this represents gameplay, but the hanging off of the building is interesting. Of course, we had climbing before, but not in a dramatic setting like this. But I mean, the graphics here just look too good, whereas the rest of it actually looks like game footage. This just reeks of pre-rendered to me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are you actually excited for this game? If you're excited about this game, do you also care about The Walking Dead in general, or are you just somebody who loves VR? I'm very curious about that, because there seems to be a lot of different pockets of The Walking Dead fandom, you could say. There's the Telltale fandom, the show fandom, the comic fandom, and then this. And I'm the one who's into all of it. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I hope to hear from you. And with that, it's been your boy Shuggy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.